Diego Maradona. But before we get to Diego Maradona, I'm sure you've watched Anele Ngcongca play.
Yeah.
And you've seen the impact. I don't want to talk too much because the boy was very close to me, you know. In South Africa, we have players who grow up wanting to play for Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, Sundowns. But here's a player, spent his first 10 years of his professional football playing for RC Genk in Belgium. And made his name there. He played with a very young Kevin De Bruyne, Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah.
You know, it's a sad loss.
No, I mean, what a loss. Not only for South Africa, I mean, for the whole Africa, you know, and you have people in Europe, you know, I mean, sending messages, you know. I was very privileged, you know, to play against him, you know, not once, not twice. I mean, so many times when he was playing for Sundowns and they won the league twice that time, you know. When you see him outside, you know, it's one quiet someone, you know, you want to interact with, you know, give you that advice, and you can see he plays overseas, you know, the way he played for Sundowns and contribute for them a lot, you know. I just, you know, it was a sad day, you know. It was a sad day, you know, when we heard the news, and may so rest in perfect peace.
And he was just about to, you know, I was watching the Amazulu and Sundowns game, and also because he just moved, and I think also because of the Sundowns policy as well, of the loan policy. But I was saying to some of my colleagues who were watching the game, chatting on Twitter, on WhatsApp, like, no, this defense analyst is going to sort it out. And little did I know that he will not even have the chance to step onto the field for Usuthu.
The cruel hand of death has dealt us another blow, and it is very saddening. Now we are looking at the player who has got so much to live for football. First and foremost, you are looking at a 33-year-old player who is being loaned out by Sundowns. Now, if you are in football, you're asking yourself, why would a club of Sundowns magnitude loan a player at that age? Because at that age, you give a player the lease so that he can go and, you know, start a new adventure. That shows how much they valued him. They hoped that he would change his mind because he was going home. You know, we are talking about his presence, his success in Genk, his number has been retired. Now, what does that imply? What does it imply to an African child, to an African child who is aspiring to play football in Europe? You know, it is very saddening. Those are players we would wish after retiring they would get into the management of soccer to try and get so many things. You know, I was privileged to, you know, to listen to his interview about what, for example, what they do, the saving schemes for players and everything like that.
Yes.
You know,
you ask Jeff about that. Yeah.
Those are some of the great things the PSL should implement. You pick, yes, we have lost him, but there are certain good things because of this player that we can celebrate. The decision of Peter Msimane bringing him back to Sundowns at that time and convincing him to come and play for Sundowns. How many players have benefited from it? We can go on and on. May his soul rest in peace.
Very interesting, Prajev, because from my interactions with him, especially even before he moved to come and play back in the country, in fact, he had said to me he's not interested to come back to South Africa anytime soon. He will only come back at 35 or 36 to retire when he can also even activate the scheme, the tech scheme in Belgium. But one of the things which really interested me about Anele and impressed me, you would have players, South African players, maybe playing in Holland or in Belgium. Once they ran off their contracts, they knew the door, where to go and knock. Where some players were even staying at his house. You know, I remember at some stage he was saying he lived in an extra flat where he had to get it for some of the boys who were out of contract but still looking for trials at other clubs. So, and he was a big brother. You know, he was a big brother. But I also learned that Coach Pitso was deeply hurt about this, because I said to you, Anele didn't want to come back. But Pizzo had been coaching Anele at Bafana Bafana. So there was that bond. He managed to convince him to come back. So you can imagine why he was deeply hurt by these developments.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I spoke to one of the interpreters who helps the Sundowns when they play against French-speaking teams in Africa. He was saying that he wants Anele to integrate the staffing, the technical staff after his career, because it's not long ago that he's going to retire. So he wanted them. Probably just because he's gone to Al Ahly, that's why he's been loaned. And probably I'm sure that they did ask him for his advice, whether to keep it, to loan him, or to sell him off once and for all. But he has much trust in the boy that he wanted him to, even when he will come back or wherever he will be, you might call him out, because this is someone who has been in Europe, who has played there for many times. He's been a champion in the Jupiler League. Yeah. So he has some kind of, expertise in terms of professionalism, so that he can convey, or can also assist the pitcher or the technical staff to try to, to put the boys up to speed. So it is a huge loss. And I was wondering, when I heard about the news, they said news, but why not? A lot of studies has been done, research are being done in terms of finding out some of the heart condition that have been hidden, even though the medicine cannot detect that. So a lot of studies are being made like that. But why cannot the same study being done when players are buying cars, or to put some speed limit in terms of
But
because
in this case,
have
I understand where you come from. But in this case, he was not the one driving.
But now, so with the car itself,
it's an accident.
Yeah, we know it's an accident, but
we can go on to try and see if we can reverse what has happened. It's tragic, It's because it's Anele, and we can talk about him. So many people are losing their lives on the roads because of accidents. It is really tragic at this moment in time. And when you talk about Pizzo feeling that pain, we share his pain, because at this moment in time we'll start thinking that I'm the one who invited this boy to come back home.
Yes.
And he has died on the roads of South Africa because I brought him back home. So you get into those moments, but we need to try and appreciate what he has done. We need to pray for his family, to try find strength in God that they can move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk Maradona.
Amen.
And I think the best way, maybe we can discuss this Maradona, is, your best moment of Maradona.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Where can you start this? Maradona is Maradona. For a lot of people wearing number 10 jersey these days, for you to be recognized with number 10 jersey, I think you always remember Maradona, and for me, I was privileged to see him live when Nigeria played against Argentina, the World Cup in South Africa, in Ellis Park, which they won 1-0. And it could have been more, with Vicente Yama doing wonders in that game, and remember him with his suit, one big suit, saw Kanuwanko, after the game, hugging him, and, a lot of photos with him.
In fact, I've always wanted to ask you, because I think when it comes to World Cup draw, there's warm and cold ball situation. Nigeria and Argentina always.
Every time.
And Greece.
And Greece. Maradona is Maradona, so rest in peace, as in Argentina, I think there's mourning for 3 days, It's so massive, it's a massive loss to Argentina, massive loss to the whole world, Maradona will live forever, We just hope he's going to be in a better place. So rest in perfect peace.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Also when you talk about Dieguito, El Fenomeno, this is someone who was very special. when he gets on the field, the church goes up. That's a Boca Junior Stadium. Yeah, it's a Bombonero. It's
Bombonero,
a
yeah.
Bombonero, yeah. So that was during his Boca Junior. Because for me, when I read the annals of history in terms of football, I thought that after Menotti team in 1978, with your Daniel Passarella, who became also coach later on, Mario Campos, Leopold Luque, Tarantini, all those players. I thought that generation is gone, and Argentina will never win something very tangible. And then we had, this guy who was playing for Batistuta. We had Batistuta,
Batistuta,
Ruggeri, Batista, Caniggia, and
Ariel Ortega.
Yes, Ariel Ortega.
Marcelo Caledo.
They were very excellent players. But then you had someone very special, and that was Maradona.
Yes.
That was Maradona. And Maradona, it was an electricity in itself, so on the field. But for me, the biggest moment, I'm not a fan of Maradona, but I do give credit to the star because he knew what he has to do. Yeah. But for me, he's still the best top footballer of the world of all times for me, because this is someone who wanted to go to Napoli, and Napoli was a very small team. Most of the time,
ordinary.
Teams, small team.
Not ordinary, small.
Small team, because teams from the south of Italy are not more developed like the north.
Yeah.
And he went there, he accepted to go there. And then he said that he saw the whole town coming to the stadium to welcome him. And it moved him. And then he said, I will do my level best for Napoli to be the biggest team in Italy. And they did become the biggest team, winning 2 champions, 2 league champions, which are called the Scudetti. And then the Super Cup, and then the UEFA Cup. And then I remember a game that should be in 1998 against the mighty AC Milan with Ruud Gullit, Marco van Basten, Rijkaard, Marco Tardelli, the coach of Everton. They were all there. Yes. But Maradona beat them 3-1. Yes. And he even scored with a header. And he's very short, and he jumped higher than everybody else to score one of the goals. So he was a fantastic player. And for me, it is a loss to the football nation worldwide, actually. And because I wanted Maradona to still run, because he had these kind of, he can see a player and say that this player will be great if he has his head on the shoulder. And even Ella Diouf said that after the first game at the World Cup in 2002,
in South Korea.
In South Korea and Japan.
In Japan.
He did call him. And Diouf said that I didn't know how he did to get my number. He did call me and told me that continue on that rhythm. You will be a very good footballer. But he didn't hear that call. So
That's Diouf.
No, he had it. It was
growing up in the streets of Kampala.
Look, Armando, Etafa said it, just number 10. Currently, we have so many players who are diluting just number 10. Like, say, Garas. When they put on just 10, like, what's happening? That was a number that was preserved for the few. Diego Armando Maradona. I was a kid, right-footed, but I wanted to be called Maradona on the streets of Kampala. The game that made me believe that Diego Armando Maradona was when Cameroon beat Argentina, because Cameroon went just to kick Maradona. Yes, Cameroon. Yes, Cameroon won the game, but Maradona won my heart. And for me, we can't celebrate Maradona in every essence.
But it was very intimidating.
Yes, when you are looking for a role model, take the good things, leave the bad things, and celebrate the good things.
Paul Fede, the late Paul Fede of Cameroon, he was actually voted the best player of
On
that, of that particular game in Italy. He said that when they were still in the dressing room, and then Maradona walked in the dressing room, and then he said he touched the Kanabiyek thigh and he said, "What is this? You call yourself a player?" And they were cold shouldered because they couldn't say anything because this is Maradona. And then Roger Miller said, "Guys, no, you don't have to be intimidated. He's just a player like you. Just come." But for me, the best, so one of the best games is the game against the quarterfinal against England in '86. Yeah, that was the revenge or the Falkland War. Because you can win on the battlefield, but on the pitch.
I was reading a story earlier today, Peter Shilton.
The hand.
Still very bitter. Still very bitter.
He took a sprint to the referee.
And also, especially the way in which the world seems to be embracing this World Cup. Let me tell you.
But the second goal was, what was it?
When I think he took on 6 players. I think there's another goal in that tournament he scored against Belgium. Was it Belgium?
Yes, in the semi-final.
In the semi-final.
He scored both games in the semi-final against Belgium.
Yes.
And Belgium had one of the best team that period.
Yes. But let me tell you, in 2010, it was just after the World Cup. I visited with the under-17. Coutinho, Lorenzo, and Lebogang Piri were in that team. We went to Argentina. Everything there is just Maradona. 2010. It's how many years since he retired? But you go to the streets there, you would think that, and there was a time when Messi was also at his peak at the time. But Maradona, everything. Remember, I went. I just forgot the sign, but I went to El Monumental Stadium, River Plate, because the guys were traveling with they took liking to River Plate, but for me it was Boca Juniors. And you make the sign there. You make the sign that you are Boca Juniors, and they make this. So, but there's so many things that I learned there. Everything there. You talk football, it's Maradona. Yeah, no.
It's the epitome
but I
of
think for
Argentina.
me, Italia 90, I was only 8 years old. So, I didn't know much. First time...
He became a villain because he scored a penalty against Italy. And he was hated by Italians.
Yeah, but 1994... Now that's when, because I had taken keen interest in this Nigerian team because
Super Eagles. Don't just call them
the former Super Eagles.
Super Eagles. So I had taken keen interest in this team because I had seen them mesmerizing at the '94 AFCON in Tunisia. Kenneth Madidoli, the Zambian team of
George Wadia, Elijah Litana.
Yes, I was hurt that that Zambian team, they couldn't go all the way. But I took keen interest in the Nigerian team from that tournament, Emmanuel Emunike. So yes, I was following there. I remember it was Group D in 1994. Maradona. But when Maradona got suspended, as soon as he got suspended in that 94 tournament, I remember listening to a closer radio commentator, and he was saying, Maradona is Argentina. Argentina is Maradona. Because as soon as he left the tournament, it was the end of
Argentina.
Tomile Mateza.
Yes.
So that was the end. So you could see the power of the man. But I chose to learn the good things or to take the good things from him, because most of the time we always dwell on. But I think this is what I should also appreciate football fans or the football fraternity. In the last 48 hours or 24 hours, I've been hearing people have been talking about remembering the best things about Maradona.